I'm back. Oh, mercy. You see me on take two? Nope. I just had to plug my laptop in and it came live again. You get some sleep, Baba. We all need some sleep. I'm a telling you what's the truth. All this craziness going on around all of us. Mercy. I hadn't had as it calmed down a whole lot though. Oh, you man, was it that delayed? I clicked this thing on and it came right back on. I know, Lisa. It is crazy times. We all need to be a praying. Knock on wood. I'm plugged in now. CJ Blaze. I wondered where you were. I knew you never went to sleep. Uh, oh, mercy. Well, I was hoping to get, I just need one more step, just one more little step to be able to screen share my home screen with y'all and search stuff. Just one little step. So, now that more of you's in here, having gone through my bachelor's, my master's, and almost finished my doctorate, if you do 2,000 hours of anything like that, you're considered an expert. Well, by golly, I know how to do some research. Made A's on all of my papers, and I was going to show y'all how to research. You never just take one article, and you certainly never use anything that comes out of Hollyweird. West Virginia Prayer Mine, sorry I'm late. Was starving. Never got notified. Well, I don't get notified of half of them. I don't know what the deal is. Somebody said earlier today if you unsubscribe and subscribe again and do that at least once a week, you can get all your notifications. I don't know if it'll work or not. Oh, California Ninja Prepper, you start your college class soon? Yes, it is important. And I research everything. Everything. And I always preface if it's just my opinion. Now, it's just my opinion that God thinks that concept is awful and mad at us. That's just my opinion. I don't think that concept should have ever been introduced anywhere, much less in two states' legislatures. But it is real, and I'm sure it probably happens. Well, the partial birth abortions do. They get the head out and snip the spinal cord and kill the baby. It's not considered birthed until its shoulders are out. And old Hillary, in a debate, said she agreed with partial birth. Well, if there are those that agree with partial birth, you think they're not doing the afterbirth? Sure they are. That is naive, naive. No, they don't. No, they don't what? Partial birth abortions? Girlfriend, I'm telling you, we're just going to agree to disagree. How's that? But you need to research that. Yes, ma'am. You can find all of the instructions you need that shows you exactly step by step how to do a partial birth abortion. Yes, ma'am. Well, I'm not saying your family did it. But now, if old doctors in back alleyways used to use a coat hanger, You know there's a doctor somewhere that is going to do that. I mean, everybody's not on the up and up, and enough money. There's people that'll do anything. I'm not saying it's everywhere, everybody, every doctor. I'm just saying it is a concept that was introduced into legislation. Therefore, I mean, are they just going to pick up a concept and go, oh, let's see if we can get this to pass? Well, I think it's to cover somebody's butt that they found out that's been doing it under the table for a fee. I mean, they don't just bring stuff up on state legislatures, you know, tables for a vote for no reason. There has to be a reason they brought that up to see if they could get a vote out of it and bring it and make it legal in those two states. But I was going to pop the articles up and show you, not have this conversation without being able to show you those articles. Yeah, there are murders all over. I did not bash abortion. No, ma'am. I even stated, if you will go back and listen, this has nothing to do with the abortion discussion. It was 100% the one concept of after-birth abortion and God being angry at this country for that even being considered. That was what my statement was. That was what my statement is now. I am not talking anything about Roe versus Wade. Period. I'm not trying to give a perspective on Roe versus Wade. 2012, in Australia, the concept of afterbirth abortion was born. It was brought up in 2 states this past legislative session, trying to put that on the books, hooked on to Roe versus Wade. And it didn't fly. But I think for anybody, I don't think anybody got confused. I said it quite clearly. I think God got angry when the concept of after-birth abortion was considered in this country, and I prefaced it by saying that has nothing to do with the other abortion issues. Badger Report even made a statement about, there are extenuating circumstances. We weren't having a debate. He was talking about God being upset, and I said, well, if he's ever going to be upset, somebody bringing up this full birth abortion concept would be enough to make God mad. That has nothing to do with a debate on abortion. On the Roe versus Wade, the abortion that is legal. There's nobody that can misconstrue. Does everybody understand what I'm saying? Anna Mae's afraid that I have misled new viewers, old viewers. Nobody's understanding what I'm saying. Does anybody understand? Give me a 1 if y'all understand what I'm trying to say. Well, you gave me a timestamp on your concept. It was during that timestamp that Badger and I were having the discussion, that those words came out of my mouth, and then Badger followed it up with his comments. So nobody's misled. Everybody understands. I was talking about my opinion. If God were going to be mad at this country, that's what it would be over. Even the suggestion of that concept, and that it has nothing to do with Roe versus Wade. Everybody's got that. Okay. Now Anna Mae can feel better that I'm not misleading anybody. Everybody's got it. Hello, Miss Helen. How are you, darling? I just popped in. No idea what y'all are talking about. This is your channel. You can say whatever you want. Yes, I can. But when you want to warn new viewers that maybe I have misled them and direct them to Hollywood movies, I think it should be addressed. I want to make sure that I have not in actuality misled anybody. Just like when we were talking about the Humvee and the Boy Scout camp and trying to make a connection. 8:30 that morning, I found out that Mr. T was going to be in town. Therefore, they had beefed up the security on Airport Road. That's why the Humvee was there. I did a video correcting that. Anytime, if I ever find that I have misled anybody, I'm going to correct that. My channel is about making sure I give you all the truth, the best I understand it. So I wanted to make sure that everybody else wasn't misled by that statement. But I think you probably didn't listen to the whole conversation. Well, there were movies referenced. Somebody referenced me. I was going through real quick. Somebody referenced movies in that stream of comments after the video. But I was not talking about Roe versus Wade. Preface that in that live. So it was just a misunderstanding. So if you want to go back to that timestamp you put in the comments and go back a little bit and then listen a little bit forward and listen to what Badger Report and I were talking about, it might make more sense to you. Hey, Bones. How are you, darling? Susie Q. Did I speak to you, Susie Q? That's okay, Anime. And I didn't want you to think I was trying to mislead anybody either. So we cleared all up. Make sure I didn't mislead anybody and help you understand that that's not what I was trying to do. So that's all. I'm giving you the truth. I always said I'd give you the truth. And if somebody thinks I've said or done something wrong, I'm going to clear it up. How's it going in the UK today, Miss Helen? You don't feel good, Bones? What's the problem, honey? I'm exhausted and wore out. I'm telling you. I can't stand drama. And all this TI stuff is still so new to me. I had a talk with my son today about it. He wasn't aware of it either. In my opinion, let me get my phone. It's going by too fast. In my own opinion, I don't agree with abortion unless she was raped or in case deer can occur. Deer can occur. It's a mix of things. I just think abortion, period, is a touchy subject for a lot of people for a lot of different reasons. I think people are either for or against it and make that decision based upon their religious beliefs. Hey, Blue Moon. I don't think I'd spoke to you. Through Store Prepper just uploaded censorship updates. Man, I gotta get my hand on that list of all those censored words. It's supposed to be somewhere, but I can't seem to find it. Hey, Carrie. I have a huge problem with that, Susie Q. I agree with you 100%. 100%. Oh, Carolyn. I know. I know a couple, they'd been married for so long, and when they were young and in college, the girlfriend, which ended up being the wife, had decided that they were just finishing college and were trying to finish college, and they would drink and party, and she would get pregnant, and she convinced the dad that, it's just a little jelly, nothing. Well, years later into the marriage, when their children were, I think they were 12 and 14, she accidentally became pregnant and she miscarried. And when she miscarried, it was during the same time frame that she had had her abortions. And the doctor, for some reason, which is unheard of, hey, Veronica, turned around with the little baby in his hand that she had lost and showed the dad and said it was a boy. Well, then the husband was able to see a real human life in that doctor's hands and see that it was a baby that just still had to mature big enough to be viable outside the womb. And he divorced her over abortions she had when they were in college. So that ended up being ugly. I mean, he didn't know. Who knows if she knows or not? She never admitted that whether or not she knew. When he was a guy in college going on with his life, there wasn't a lot of education about it. And back then, nobody really researched. I mean, now we research everything to death. A doctor says, oh, I want you to try this treatment. What do? Boom, 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 straight to the computer, researching everything we can find. New medicine. Should we take it or not? Should we take it? Diagnosis. We research the heck out of everything now. But back then, in the early 80s, we didn't have no internet. Information wasn't as accessible as it is now. And what doctor could they have gone to talk to about it? But he didn't look at all of those aspects. He was angry at her because he felt that she had misled him. Well, maybe, that's all she knew. A lot of people just think, it's a little ball of jelly until all of a sudden, right before it's born, it's a baby. I don't know. Bamboo, how are you? So it's a hot topic. Now, I think as much as everybody argues that it's a woman's right to choose, I think that argument really should say it's that woman's right to choose whether or not she's going to use a contraceptive. Because if you're using an appropriate contraceptive, you don't have to worry about it. My opinion, which I'm allowed to give because it is my channel. I didn't think those words would ever come out of my mouth. It is a very personal choice. It's a very, very personal choice. But in my area, being a psychotherapist, I can tell you 100% that there are many women use it for contraceptive purposes, and then there are many women because they don't understand. They really do not believe that is a life. They don't. Done too many hours of therapy with these women. And then once they get older, mature, it's mostly college girls, that I had seen that had had abortions. They grow up, get married, have babies, and as soon as they have that baby and they feel that baby moving and they're farther along in the pregnancy than when they aborted one, then they're in therapy. What pisses you off, Anime? Then I've had them in therapy for years trying to tell them you can't feel guilty about a decision you made years ago that you're admitting. It is. Yes, ma'am. I've done therapy with the women that have admitted it, Anna Mae. They'll admit, I got drunk, I didn't care, I knew I could have an abortion. I said, that's awful expensive contraceptive. But yeah, I've done many, many, many years of therapy with women that after they actually had a child could not live with the guilt that they had had abortions. So, and then there are women that never have, they're good with their decision and they go on with life. I mean, it goes both ways. Oh, okay. You're agreeing with me that they use it as contraceptive? That is just craziness. I mean, get on the pill or something, or close your legs, you know? But just my opinion. But my opinion's based upon years of doing therapy with these women. And I've got my best friend for years and years and years that now helps lead women into an abortion clinic so they're not mistreated out in the street trying to get into it. And I think, the pro-lifers, I don't think they should be there screaming and yelling and being ugly to those women. I don't think that's the right way to take it either. That's not right. I mean, that's not right at all. I mean, are you really going to stop them by screaming and yelling and not showing them love? I mean, they've already made that decision. They're there. Why make a bad situation worse? I mean, just my opinion. Yes, that is true. That is true. Yep, I agree with you. Agree with you, Anime. But yeah, it's awful trying to, and typically if they, say that they're a Christian, when I did therapy, it finally just got to the point that I would have to say, look, I mean, I tried every therapeutic technique that I possibly could, and I would just say, do you believe that if you ask God to forgive you, He's going to forgive you of a sin? And they'd say, yes. And I'd say, well, do you believe that your thoughts and your opinions of yourself are more important than God's? And they'd say, no. And I'd say, well, if He can forgive you, how can you not forgive yourself? I mean, that's, where I'd pretty much end it. I just now got the notification. Probably the notification after the computer died. Maybe it sent a notification back out. Well, there you go. And that's in the UK. Yep. And then it's so sad. There's so many women that want to have babies that can't go through everything in the world trying to have a baby. And then people that want to adopt, there is so much blasted red tape. I mean, they'll put a child in a home and drag that adoption process out. I know a family that was drug out for 7 years. Took 7 years to adopt a child that they had had since it was a week old. I think the adoption thing is a money racket, just so the lawyers can make money. My opinion. My opinion. It is sad. I have a good friend that I graduated from high school with. God love her. I don't know how many um, babies she lost. She'd get pregnant and then she couldn't carry them. And it took them a long time to finalize. They ended up adopting two or three kids. I can't remember now. I think it's three. And my goodness, they were put through the ringer. They are an upstanding family in this community, have been. You know, her parents were, her grandparents were business owners, local business in this town, and they put them through the ringer. Listen, loaded, lived in one of the nicest communities in the place. I mean, good Christian people. I've never heard that woman so much as raise her voice, and I've known her since we were 12 years old. I mean, just a sweetheart, and her husband is. And they put them through the ringer on the paperwork of those adoptions. And then you wonder why people go out of the country and pay $10,000, because I guarantee you they had more than $10,000 in attorney's fees tied up in those adoptions. I mean, it's the system. A lot of things that people do is because the system's broken. And then we have laws on the books that they won't implement. Oh, I was going to turn on my scanner. Did y'all hear me say that there was a news thing that came across? There was an active shooter. Oh, we have 47 in chat. An active shooter in Michigan. Oh, let me see if it's. The minute I heard it, I tried to. I always say Google, but I mean DuckDuckGo, y'all. See if there's anything. See if we can find anything. Michigan State Police. It doesn't give a date. Supposedly there was some chatter. Well, let's see if we can find anything. I think it was somebody in the car going around doing drive-bys. Well, it's not gonna load. Acting crazy. Well, honey, that's what makes the world go round. We're not all, everybody's not always gonna. That's why I said my life's philosophy is we either agree or we disagree or we agree to disagree. You know? I mean, that's just the way it is. Now, where people that disagree, is when they get mad. I mean, like, you know, because I'm a conservative Christian, my friend, a good friend of 30 plus years, decided she couldn't be friends with me anymore because she didn't vote for Mr. T. She didn't know whether I did or not. She just assumed I did. She never asked me. That's where the problem is. I mean, you don't take this stuff to heart and lose sleep over it. I'm telling you, there is nothing about that. Let's see if I can find that county on the scanner. Well, that one's just going to give me my local. Don't need that. Browse scanner feeds, United States. I hope not. Michigan. Ingham County. Let's try this. Oops, I bet you I don't have my sound on. Well, gosh, y'all, I hate to do this, but I gotta go take a potty break. I'm gonna have to powder my nose. I will be right back. As quick as I can. See if I can find something on this scanner. Nope, y'all, they're not saying nothing about no shooter. I can't find anything. Listen, when I went to gas station earlier, I thought, I'm going to be wanting to snack on something. Well, I bought me a candy bar, one I haven't had in a long time. I usually don't buy candy bars. I'm not a big sweet eater. But I thought I will have me some caramel or caramel, however you like to say it. Troll spray. I ran out on the last show I watched. Oh, mercy. I'm telling you, we've been trolled to death in chat, on the phone. We were also disappointed to find out that one caller that talked for 2 hours that we were so excited about a couple of nights ago was a troll. Well, I'm going to turn that off because they're not saying anything. Nope. Supposed to be Ingham County, Michigan. Nothing. Lady Lakefork's wanting to know if she's in the right Discord. Watch me get choked. uh, lick that chocolate off my fingers. Don't want to waste a bite of it. Love her heart. She didn't know if she's in the text or chat or where she's at. I told her she's in the right place. I'm live. Don't think anybody's in Discord chatting. Lady, I don't know that we should give him any airtime. How about, Jay Stone, if I text you? And then that was my troll call. That was quite threatening. That caused me to end that live abruptly. We were talking about TIs. And we are not supposed to talk about TIs. How about that? Thank you for trying to help me, Jay Stone. I don't think I saw you were in here till I just saw that comment. So if I didn't speak to you, I'm sorry, baby. Oh, you sent me a text back. I didn't see. Listen, my evening after when I was texting you blew up. There you go. When I was on the phone with the Badger report, and we were talking about TIs, and I got that last phone call and ended the stream. Yeah. Remember the guy said no, he didn't have a screen name. He didn't believe in any using anything like that. Jersey Linda, how are you? Yes. He was, that was part of my being a TI, Jay Stone. It's been pretty hot and heavy lately, and that was another step. The same night that the chick was out in front of my house. Did you see that? Oh, you fell asleep, missed the end. Yeah, you remember him. Well, that's who called and told me that we weren't supposed to be talking about what we were supposed to be that we were talking about. Well, thank you, Whitetail 7. So, yes. And I'm not going to listen. Is Badger still here? Or Badger leave? Yeah, J Stone. Yep, had a girl out in front of the house acting all freaky when I went to get my mail at 4:23 in the morning. She thought I saw her because I looked that direction. I hadn't seen her. She acted real freaky, trying to intimidate me. Young, pretty girl, too. And I come back in, me and Badger's having that TI conversation, and I see thrift store prepper pop in. I went, oh, let me go see if my package is here. Because I had won a spin the wheel thing, and he's supposed to be sending me the meat stick and nut sacks that he sends out for gifts. And I was going to open it while he was on the show. And went out to the mailbox, 423, just spur of the moment. Just happened to look that direction, but I didn't see anybody. There was nobody on the street. Guarantee there's nobody on the street. And then the next day, my seats had been moved in my truck, and the mirrors had been moved, and they're hacking my truck, getting in my truck. Just several different little things. And then, we'd had that caller the night before. Then he called back and said, I can't say what I have to say to you on live. Don't cross that line. This last caller of yours. So I ended it because I didn't know, because he kept saying so many last caller remarks. Well, he wasn't the last caller. He was on hold. So we just ended it. Yeah, it was creepy. Hey, Snafu, how are you, buddy? What's up? I'm having a little bit of chocolate, which I rarely do. So anybody that wants to doubt, well, there were several people in chat that night that was talking about it. If you think being targeted is not real, give me a call. Yep, it is very real. Very, very real. Marzipan, now that's a little bit too sugary for me. I'm not a big marzipan fan. Makes pretty cakes, though. Oh my gosh, the prettiest cakes are made with that. But I always peel it off, like if it's for a wedding or baby shower. You are funny. That's where they do that. Gang stalking and, um, oh shoot. What's the other word? Oh my goodness. Gaslighting. Gang stalking and gaslighting. That's okay. This girl knows how to defend herself. Catch me off guard once. Won't catch me off guard the second time. Yeah, it is thick. It's very thick, and it's nothing but sugar. They lay it over the cake. It's almost like a blanket. It falls into place over that cake and then they smooth it out. Makes beautiful cakes. But it's too sugary for me. Mountain Man, how are you, buddy? Mmm. I bet they are. Um, I think we're talking about two separate concepts. Lady of Lake Forest. I don't know anybody that wants to be gang stalked or gaslighted. It's when they stalk you and mess with your personal property, come in your home, can cost you your job, make you think you're crazy, make your family think you're crazy. Yes, Tina, and we all should. And if we don't, we're going to have to answer for that someday. Oh, I do. They can hack your track. They can hack your security system, darling. This is not a little organization that does this. This is a well organized organization that does this. Oh my goodness. So you had one of those, what was it called? My Big Gypsy Wedding that was on TV? Mm, a Jewish gypsy. I've never heard of a Jewish gypsy. I used to love to watch that show. All those gypsies have one woman in Boston that make all their big dresses and they try to see who can get the biggest, poofiest, and brightest colored ones. I mean, those things are huge. The can and stuff underneath the skirt. Oh my gosh. And all kinds of glitter and sparkle and color. And I think that show wasn't it called My Big Fat Gypsy Wedding or something. Come on, late at night, I'd watch the reruns. And we all need protection. Yes, they're beautiful. Beautiful. I don't know what that word is, anime. What is that word? I Google it, but it was going up in chat. I'm not quite sure I read it clear. Nick's Cool 20. Excellent info. Thank you. What info? What did I give you that was excellent? Which part? Are you new, Nick? Oh, Nikki. Nikki's cool. Oh, gotcha. I misunderstood what you're saying. They liked to do it to other people. I thought you meant they liked to have it done to them. Oh, mercy. Yeah, my TV is on right now, which y'all know is unusual. I tried to say definition, it deepened my comment. I don't know what oh, to say gypsy's a slur? Is that what you're saying? No, that community calls themselves gypsies. Have you ever watched that My Big Fat Gypsy Wedding? Oh, they call themselves gypsies. Absolutely, and they're proud of it. I'll say a slur is I didn't think you would say it out loud. Yes, ma'am, I didn't think you would say it out loud. I'm sorry. Everybody can see it in chat. A slur means a cut down. Do you know what? When you cut somebody down or insult somebody, you're disrespecting. You know, if I would say, "Ah, oh, there's that Aussie popping in here," you know, and just instead of saying say, I would say, "Ah, that Aussie popping in here." That's a slur. That's not a nice thing to do, which I would never do because you know I love you. But that's the quickest example off the top of my head. So she was saying it was a slur to. The real name is Roma. Yes, the Big Fat American Gypsy Wedding is on TLC. Yes, I loved watching that show. They'd try to outdo each other on those wedding dresses. And then that one woman, man, they paid big bucks for those dresses. One woman in Boston, but no matter where they live across the United States, they all travel to Boston for the dress fittings. And sometimes it takes 2 or 3 times. But they say, you know, what they're into, what their likes are. And this woman designs beautiful dresses. It's amazing. Don't diss peeps. What do you mean, don't diss peeps? Hey, Lisa, how are you? I'm not going to disrespect no peeps. We were commenting on Mountain Man. He called his woman, said he'd married a woman and she was a Jew gypsy or something. I don't know. So that reminded me of that show I like to watch, the wedding dresses. Oh, well, Lord J. Stone, if you're not something else. Expressing contempt. That's what that word means. Aren't you awesome, J. Stone? You're just a handy little thing. So, same thing as a slur. Say, it's expressing contempt or disapproval. I got the definition sent to me. If I had known, been able to explain that a little better, my brain's fried, y'all. Listen, all this mess going on. Watched Up in Smoke. I've never heard of that. Only thing I ever, if I do sit down, decide I want to watch TV, which isn't very often, I will turn on demand and binge watch whatever the season I've missed of Blue Bloods and no, we ain't gonna get no disrespect in here. I love everybody. Human Angel. Have you ever been here before? Do we know you? Oh, Bones might have found it. One person is dead after a shooting in Lansing, Michigan. One is deceased and multiple others taken to the hospital after the police were called to a shooting on the 500 block of North Pine. Two of the three people were teenagers. One of the teenagers died on scene, and the other one was taken to the hospital. The condition and location of the third person is unknown. The suspect fled the scene before police arrived. The area was blocked off and taped. Police say, although this is early in the investigation, they do believe this shooting does not appear to be a random act. Officers say another shooting broke out shortly thereafter on the 1500 block of Illinois Avenue, and police believe the shootings might be related. So they knew each other. So this wasn't a random drive-by like we first thought. I was a film producer. It was all fake. Gang retaliation, probably. If I had to imagine. Lord, I don't have me. Oh my gosh, did that end one stream and start another? Pff, it sure did. My goodness. I didn't realize that. Well, yes. Gangs are very scary because the bigger gangs typically they have to kill somebody for their initiation to get in the gang. I mean, can you imagine? My goodness, human angel, that's pretty good. Oh, wait a minute. I lost it. Daggone it. She's got 500 and some subscribers and only 13 videos. So, Human Angel does have a channel. If you all want to go check out her videos, 551 subscribers. You get that thumbnail app. I'm shattered, my fans. I'm not sorry I took the money. What did you take money for? Miss Lisa, what am I missing? Y'all talking about some juicy gossip. Oh, Greek wedding, not gypsy wedding. I'm so sorry, Mountain Man. Listen, this little chat box goes by real quick. It's not very big, on my side for me to see. Greek, not gypsy. Thank you, CJ. Yeah, we've got 61 watching and only 28 likes. And Bones, thank you. Listen, Jason, you said you were talking about when you were in the ocean, how you felt like you were just in heaven. I've always said, love to go to the beach so I can sit with the water just barely splashing up on my feet, and it's like I'm sitting just about as close on this earth as I'll ever get to heaven. And man, can I do some good praying sitting on that sand, watching that ocean. It seems like when I'm on the beach, that's the biggest thing I get done. Just lay there and pray and talk to God. That feels close to Him. I know. I couldn't scroll back to see what Lisa McDonald got paid for it she didn't feel bad about. I'm sorry, Diana. No, you're not invisible. Listen, it's hard for me to read this chat. I don't even know why I try to read it. I'm trying not to be rude to y'all and look down at my phone. So we had a big old conversation about Gypsy, and it was Greek. But I do like that show. +1907667. Hello? Oops, wait a minute.
Are you still on live?
Yeah, you're on live. Who's this? I'll take you off live. Oh, hey there. How are you?
I'm doing very well, thank you. So I just wanted to say about everything that's going on.
Are you wanting me to put you on a speaker, or are you just...
Yeah, you go ahead and put me out where I can hear.
Okay. Okay, this is Human Angel.
Hi, guys. So this whole thing about the shooting, I have a hard time really believing a lot of it. I noticed tonight they did a lot of propaganda on Dateline, going back and going over many, many shootings. So nobody get offended here, but I'm going to explain something to you. After the Las Vegas shooting, I went there the next day.
Can you call it something else? Because after so many times of saying that SHOOT,
oh, okay,
that needs to be bang bang, pow pow, something.
Okay,
Please.
no problem. So yeah. So after the whole thing in Sin City, I went there with a group of people, and why I don't know if anybody knows Jake Marf Munoz. I don't completely believe him either. But we walked the perimeter of that situation, that venue, and the proof of it was that there were no HOLES from you know what on the side facing that window. The HOLES from that were on the opposite side facing the airport. We walked I'm telling you, we walked the whole thing. I saw the whole entire green mesh that went around that whole area. So the HOLES were on the side facing the airport, which
was not in the direction of the crowd.
No. There were no HOLES in the brick wall that was underneath the green mesh. There were no HOLES in the trees. And you know that not every single whatever would have gone directly into that situation. There would have been ricocheting and this and that. Everybody understands that. Anybody who's used one of those things or practiced using one of those things at a range or whatever would know that not every BULET
right.
would hit in that area. So the other place that we saw some evidence was there was a tower behind the stage about 300 or 400 feet from the venue facing the Tropicana. And it very well could be that someone was up in that tower as well. We all sat and talked about it a lot, and there was just a lot of gray areas, you know. First, if it was only one person who supposedly expired, and that was the case, then why did they have the whole perimeter blocked they didn't unblock it until almost Thanksgiving, because I was there.
What made you go check it out?
Because I'm an empath, and I'm very intuitive, and I feel things, and something didn't feel right about the whole thing, so I wanted to see it myself. So I drove from California to there, and I spent a lot of time talking to people, and I am a UBER driver, and I was at the time an LYFT driver, and I spoke to many of those people, as well as friends of the survivors and people that were lost. I would say half a dozen or so of those. And all of them said there were more people with, you know what I'm talking about.
Yes.
On that whole perimeter that night. They were in many areas in that perimeter that night. One in particular said she was sitting at Tudor's, and that a lady came running out and screamed at her to let her into the car and said, "We have to get out of here." And she said when they were going down TROP to the freeway, that they saw many people holding you-know-what.
Yeah.
And they look like, they look like mercenaries.
There's enough controversy about this topic that I really needed you to use your code words, and we've got to limit this because do you know they have taken channels down over discussing this situation?
Oh, I know. That's why I'm trying to be careful about what I say.
Well,
but
even in
I can tell you from what I did see that the truth was not told at all.
We know that, but I just now got to the point. Listen, wait. You agreed that you knew they were taking channels down. Even in talking in code, we're not supposed to be talking about this topic. And I think everybody realizes that there's a lot wrong with that situation. So we really can't discuss this topic anymore.
Okay, so what else should we talk about? I'm a cult survivor. I've survived 2 religious cults.
Okay, tell us about that.
And I understand
and by the way, I do believe you 100% on that situation. Absolutely, I think everybody agrees.
Yeah,
but the powers to be just does not allow that.
We just don't want to get wrapped up in all the drama. You know what I'm saying? Because we really don't. we all think we know so much, but we really know nothing.
No.
And being a film producer and being in that behind the scenes and dealing with that whole situation, I can tell you that things are not always what they appear to be.
Of course not.
And
we know that.
Yeah, and most things are not what they appear to be, and none of us really know anything. But I can tell you that in the way that Yahusha, or whatever you call him, God, whatever, the way he uses me, he puts me in strange predicaments to show me things. And everybody thinks I'm absolutely crazy because, like, why are you going there? Why are you doing that? Because I feel like I'm led by spirit to go to these places and see what I see. And I see things through intuition and through my intuitive wisdom. And that's one of the reasons why I never got sucked into the whole Hollywood thing when I was a film producer, because I was basically there to observe and to see things that no one else was seeing. And I was appalled. I mean, I can tell you my life was threatened. I suffered sexual harassment. People were stealing money left and right and getting away with it. I mean, it's such a corrupt business. You can't believe anything that comes out of there. And it's all manipulative. And if anybody really goes out and takes the time to research it, you will see the parallel between Hollywood and everything else and how it's all intertwined.
Do you watch our channels very often?
I do.
Well, we're always talking about predictive programming. We're all aware of that.
Well, you are.
No, our family is here.
You know, the majority of people out there aren't.
Well, but you're singing, you're preaching to the.
That's why we're here.
You're preaching to the choir on this one, but everybody in the chat is getting really nervous because these are all hot topics, and I just got over 1,000 subs last week, so now they are watching my channel very closely, and everybody likes to come here and hang out. So we're talking about everything that we're not supposed to talk about. Don't that stink? We are censored to death.
They won't let us talk about cults and religious cults and things like that.
Huh? Nope, that's on the block list. Yep.
Is it?
Yep, they'll take me right down, so I hate it. But actually, I was getting ready to end the show. Mountain Man, I saw where you said that you owed me a call, but I'm going to have to end the show early tonight. I was supposed to have been on earlier, and we had some things that happened that caused me not to be able to come on, and I am just brain dead. So if you don't care, Mountain Man, I'll be on earlier tomorrow night if you wanna call for a little while. Now we're not gonna get into major topics and have a 3 hour. We got to plan that one. But listen, I appreciate you calling, and I know you know a lot that's going on, and I appreciate knowing that you know a lot that's going on, but it's nothing we can talk about, unfortunately.
Well, I'll say one thing in closing, and it doesn't matter if they shut all the channels down. It doesn't matter if they curb what people are saying. The truth is already out there, and the people know the truth, and the truth is spiritual. So the truth is going to spread whether these channels are here or not.
Well, I don't want to try to get mine taken down just as I'm getting it up, though. Yeah. So I'm going to let you go.
I'm just saying, you know,
I'm going to let you. We're going to listen. I'm going to let you go because I'm not going to let you talk over me and lose my channel for me. Okay? We cannot be talking about what you're talking about. Okay?
That's pretty sad that we can't talk about anything.
No, we can't. Nope, not on those hot topics. We sure cannot. And some of the channels aren't, I'm not monetized yet, but I should be by the end of the week. They'll be checking all of my videos out, and they'll want to take me down before they even let me get monetized. But there are plenty of channels that are not monetized that will talk about anything, and if you want to find one of those, they'll let you spill all that stuff. So I appreciate you calling, but I just cannot risk this. And I'm sorry that you're willing to try to risk. And, arguing with me about the censorship is not going to get you anywhere. I don't make the rules. But I am trying to follow them and keep my channel. So what little bit we can discuss, we are here and able to discuss. But I do appreciate you calling. Sure. And I'm awful sorry. All right, well, have a good night. Thank you. All right. What y'all think about that? Face hand, yeah. Y'all are learning to read me pretty good. Oh, no, don't feel tense now. Nah, listen. There's bigger things, that bigger fish in the sea to upset us than that. Yes, 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 yes. What was her name? I can't remember her name now. Mountain Man, I am really getting ready. What in the world? Mountain Man. No, 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 no. Mountain Man was wanting to call in about an hour and answer some questions. Well, how about that? Oh, that's what I was gonna look. What was No. I asked if anybody had seen her before or knew her before. Listen, everything I've had going on. Human Angel, are you still here? I think Human Angel does have a channel. Isn't that who? I told y'all to go check out her channel if you wanted to. Yes. Human Angel does have her own channel. Are you still here, Human Angel? Daggone that. Human Angel, you have your own channel. Why have you not discussed this on your channel? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 videos. Why have you not discussed this on your channel? She only has 8 videos out and has 553 subscribers. By the time I had 553 subscribers to get those 553 subscribers, I already had about 25 videos out or 30. I don't know. It's a bunch. Yeah. So, yeah, Human Angel, you need to call somebody else's. Listen, I have had enough people. I have had enough. Are you looking at the right one? I clicked on her name. What are you looking at, J Stone? I clicked on her name and went to her channel. I clicked on her chat name and went to her channel. She's got 11 views, 247 views, 33 views, 979 views, 170 views, 928 views, 132 views, and 629 views. See you tomorrow, Gloria. I am too. She's been here before asking for subs. But I am not now. I don't have to like to overtalk somebody that has their own channel and acts like, well, moving on, anyone? Yes. Anime, why don't you have a channel on YouTube? I think you need a channel on YouTube. Who's not here to defend themselves? Listen, Anime, you're not the YouTube police on my channel. You get too serious, girl. You've got to lighten up. Oh my goodness, girl. Oh, Anime's a YouTube Nazi. You need a YouTube channel. It's all right. Listen, you get all bent out of shape over nothing, sweetheart. Seriously, you do. It ain't that big of a deal. We just rattle about it, talk about it. It ain't that big of a deal. And sometimes, everybody don't always need corrected. Just saying. There's always that one kid that always wants to be right. Let's just chill. Be happy. It's okay. Promise. Yeah, you're on D Live. Why don't you put a channel on YouTube? For real. Yeah. Are you all stressed out? All that anxiety? Scott Rogers, Lord have mercy, fell asleep. Oh my goodness. When you talk to people, you try to talk America. Listen, I was trying to remember, I was practicing today trying to remember, and now I can't even remember what you called it at all. Cotton candy. Because I thought, I'm going to teach my grandson to call cotton candy that. Fairy floffs. Was that it? Fairy floffs is what cotton candy is? Did I get that right? I just love that. Here you're trying to talk American and I'm trying to talk Australian. Can we get back to eating candy? No, I had 2 little chunks of that thing. I don't need a lot of sweets. And that candy floss. Smart line call. Who is calling? I just said we're closing out. I don't want any more calls. Who is calling? Hello?
I figured I'd try to call and give y'all something we can talk about.
Well, are you feeling my frustration here?
Hold on. No. I'm a truck driver. I'm out here every 4 or 5 days a week. Work here in Georgia, and I do one irritating thing. I am part of the bad food. I do haul chicken every night, but 25 years veteran owner-operator. It is stable work every night.
Hey, are you in chat?
Ma'am?
Are you in chat?
Yeah, but I'm driving. I don't text and drive. If I'm sitting somewhere, I do.
What's your...
I get on there every
What?
now and then. I was on there last night. Anthony Brown.
Is that what your chat name is?
Yeah, that's my real name.
Oh, okay. No, it's not Trekker, but it's a truck driver. He sounds a lot like Trekker. It's Anthony Brown. He said he was in chat last night. He said he's got something we can talk about. He's sitting at a red light.
Well, we can talk about farming, and because I'm half redneck, half civilized, huh?
Where are you from?
I know I live off land. I'm northeast Georgia. Actually, I live in Athens, and we've got a family farm in a little town called Carnesville, Georgia. I stopped trucking for a while to get my life straight. It was just part of changing life, getting older. I'm 47 years old, so
well, that's not
old. For a while and well, when you've put a bunch of hard miles on yourself, and then you got to come back and recoup, come back to reality.
Yeah.
But I started farming, and next thing I know, I was selling meat, eggs, vegetables. In some of the towns around Atlanta.
Go ahead.
So I sold meat, eggs, and vegetables. I kind of got under the spotlight of the state of Georgia. I started doing on-farm processing of poultry. And I had all the permits, mobile meat permit. People wanted that product, because it is a better product. And then it was a gray area. State of Georgia, the poultry industry is one of the big money makers. So when you step on their feet. What was that?
One of my moderators said I track truck drivers. Well, I know why, because you're driving all night and there's really not any. You get bored. There's not anybody in the middle of the night to talk to. But man, you got a YouTube call-in channel. That's your perfect opportunity to entertain yourself. So you just take right off.
Oh yeah, I can entertain other folks if there's things that they want to talk about. Yeah. Like I said, I've processed poultry. I can take a chicken and have it processed in just a few minutes, and it'd be cleaner, better, and tastier than what you get in the store.
Oh yeah.
I don't do it anymore.
But listen, did you boil them to pluck the feathers? That's the stinkingest mess I've ever experienced in my life.
Yeah, but it wasn't. That didn't bother me, because what I did, I would buy the chicks, get them up, then we would free range them. And when it come time to process them, what they have, kill cones. I hope that's not a bad word, because we're talking about processing chickens.
We're talking about processing chicken.
Thing, you put the chicken. Yeah. Yep. And you as quickly and humanly as possible, peel the chicken, bleed him for a minute, and then you do, like you said, you have a pot of boiling water, and you throw it in there. And then I did buy a plunker. It looks like a big washing machine. Matter of fact, I just sold this last summer because you can't. The state just ain't gonna allow you to do the processing.
Huh.
And we throw it in the plunker and had rubber fingers and it spin, and the feathers, except for the pin feathers, would be off real quick. And take it from there. Clean the chicken. You know, internal organs. Clean them out real good. Wash them out. Put it in a. I had the bags, and I had to label it with the farm name, date it was processed, and all that.
Yeah.
Shrink wrap bags. Drop it in the hot water real quick. Shrink up, look just like what you get in the store. Bang, in the ice chest. Take me about 5 minutes, and I could have a bird done. So I did that, and turkeys come Thanksgiving. We did pigs. I mean, it's still on Facebook. Anybody wants to look at some of the stuff that we did was, I think it's all one word because my wife actually, I did a whole different Facebook. So it's attached to hers. It's Whitetail Farm.
Oh, we have somebody on here with Whitetail 7.
Yeah, I've seen Whitetail 7. Yeah, I've seen, and that kind of bring back memories. So yeah, you can go there on Facebook and look at some of the stuff that we did and that I did. I wish I could do it, but feed prices, fuel prices, all that got into the money making, and it's hard work. But I enjoyed it when we ate very well. But we were broke. My wife's she was a school teacher. Now she works in the medical field. She does X-rays and MRIs and all that. And I'm still a 25-year veteran of going up and down these roads. You was talking about things years ago when we started. Everybody talked on the CB. I didn't want to hear the CB now because there's so much BS talked on there, and I don't even turn it on.
Yep.
Everybody just talks on the phone. The trucking industry's changed so much, and I don't like how it's changed because we're heavily regulated.
Oh yeah, that was starting when I was getting out of it. I was glad I was out of it.
I'm just able. I keep my overhead down in my business. I've got a 20-year-old truck. Her name is Beulah. She's a good old truck.
All of my trucks were named B names. My favorite one was my Blue Bessie.
You always name a truck female name.
Well, you know, I had 2 Bessies and 2 Betties, and then I had a Silver Bullet and a Big Bubba.
See, my daughter named the last. Well, I started buying some of these newer trucks, and because of all the computer programming, the diesel emissions fluid, they cost you a lot of money. So, but my daughter named that truck the White Vapor, and I used to laugh all the time. She said, "You going to get the White Vapor?" I said, "Yep."
Oh,
I figured that.
One of our guys in chat said he couldn't even put a dress on a deer. You know how you say you're dressing a deer? He said he couldn't even put a dress on a deer.
Well, these are things in the times that we're in right now that more people, because there's too many people that believe hunting and fishing is at Kroger or Walmart, and there's a lot of people that need to learn how to do things like that.
That's true.
You know, it gets to where we have to get our food in that direction.
You're not going to get these city folks to want to learn how to do that, though. And now we got all the vegetarians and the vegans, and I don't know.
Well, let's see, truck driving. I got diagnosed high blood pressure. That was the first thing. And rocked on with that. Didn't really, younger didn't pay attention to it. Then got diagnosed supposedly with diabetes.
I knew it.
And I'm not a big pusher of going to the doctor and here's a pill for this, here's a pill for that.
Right.
So I started doing my research, and the blood pressure I have kicked in the butt. Now I still take very little of Cinepril, but I've dropped the blood pressure tremendously with exercise, diet, and also taking pretty good bits of garlic.
Oh,
my wife says I try to. Garlic works real well. Diabetes, I've experimented, and it's worked with cinnamon, an herb called fenugreek, and what's this other one I started taking? Moringa. And all those three, I kind of hit it with, it just depends. I mean, I try to change up with it and just monitor the blood sugar and stay off the breads and try to.
Yeah.
So I've dropped that down. I think when they got me the first time, I was what was I, 9.4 on my A1C.
Oh
now
my
down to
gosh.
like 6.2.
Holy moly.
That's high, but it's not. I've heard of people having 12, but my blood sugar would never get up over 250, and I've heard of people having 400, 500, 600. But diet and exercise, when you sit in this is a slow death job.
Yeah.
If you especially drive over the road, because all you do is sit, you never get any exercise. When you're younger, the body can take that abuse. As you get older, it's like, you got to fix this.
Yeah. So, hey, I reversed my diabetes, so it can be done.
How did you do it?
I saw a new doctor one day in the office, and he didn't realize I just had one kidney, and they wouldn't give me one of the medicines that like jump starts weight loss with diabetes. And I asked him if he would prescribe that to me so I could get the diabetic weight off of me. And I got to take it for 2 months. It jump started my weight loss. I continued with the weight loss. I worked between 2 buildings, and I would walk as fast as I could to and from each building, through the buildings, up and down all of the stairs, and got as much exercise at work as I could. And then when I got my weight down, I got diabetes from treatment with high treatment of steroids. And most people, if that causes diabetes, it reverses in 3 months. Mine didn't. It took me 6 years, but I finally reversed it. I was in the hospital a couple months ago. They checked it 5 times a day, and never was up.
Pancreas?
Huh?
I think the diabetes starts with the pancreas situation. The pancreas not doing its job, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just try to do things. I believe everything that we need was put on this planet. Most of the time that the body needs to heal, and then sleep. Certain things, and that's a lot of things I didn't do. I mean, you go for hours and hours not sleeping as a truck driver.
Yeah.
When you get tuned to it, I mean, just like now, most of my days I go to work by 11 o'clock at night. I go to bed about the end of the week. I catch up on my sleep. I've tuned my body into doing that.
Well, you need to be walking that parking lot. That'll give you more energy, and the way you said, it's good for
Let me tell you about that. It scares me. It scares me with the truck drivers that we have out here today, because I'm afraid one of them will run me over.
Oh, well. Go over on the side at the truck stops where the cars park.
I know. I go home and I walk. I haven't been doing it lately because I've been doing a lot of manual labor around the house. We bought a house, and I've been doing landscaping work and
that's
fencing
good.
work and stuff like that. Sweating, just get down. You got to do those things to help, especially as we get older. No, any topic anybody wants to talk about, hunting, fishing, although everything's getting all crazy, you can't. Just like the caller that you had, and I'm sitting there going, "Oh no."
Oh, I know.
It is what it is.
It is what it is. Can't help it. Talk about it.
Do I like it? No, I don't like it. But until something changes, you have to do what you're doing now and be.
That's right. Careful. Well, the worst thing about it, she has her own channel, and she's got 8 videos up, and ain't discussed that one time on none of hers. So.
Well, I started listening to I caught Marv, and then when I see Snafu, and several people, the weather guy, and I look at this when I'm sitting still, just for other things to look, because you could be looking at a lot of other things that don't.
Other things that get you in trouble.
Yeah.
How's that?
So yeah, I started looking at at everybody's and listening to everybody's opinion and taking in consideration that a lot of people have a lot of ideas, and hey, that's good, especially as long as it's positive. I think with everything we got going on nowadays, which she hit earlier, it's just a lot of negatives, and if you live your world with negative stuff every day, that's how it's going to be. If you try to be positive and be nice to people as best you can, it works out better for you. That's right.
Let me tell you, life's too short to get all bound up with silly stuff, petty stuff.
I will. I don't mind talking. I get wound up with people, especially people of low intelligence because they do things around me that could, because I take my job real personally, because in 25 years I've had one accident. That's because of somebody else.
Oh, that's
so I really pay attention to what's going on.
That's awesome.
I don't know if it's lucky. I don't know. My friends of mine go, "Where's that rabbit's foot and that horseshoe?"
No, you're a defensive driver. That's
something like that. I just pay attention. You can spot things out here if you're on the road.
You gotta always look ahead.
I mean,
That's the problem. People don't look far enough ahead. They're looking at the back end.
Texting and driving.
Yep. Yep, that's true.
But
so you like to fish?
Yeah, I'm old farm boy, ma'am.
So you say you like to fish? I like to fish.
When we got back, I told my wife, because I took a stint here in Georgia when we had the recession or whatever. Money wasn't that well. I told my wife I went to the oil field. We moved to Oklahoma.
Ah.
And I hope nobody here's on Oklahoma. Don't want to offend nobody, but the part that I live in, for a southern boy with no trees and crazy weather, wind blowing, we call them torpedoes. That was our thing at the house. It says it's torpedoes coming.
Oh.
I lived in a little town called Elk City, and it just when you have no trees, no grass, it's depressing. And we stayed out there. My wife went back to college and got her stuff for this do MRI and X-ray and stuff like that.
Oh, cool.
Did 5 years out there, and we came back to Georgia.
Well.
But yeah, it was. I didn't get to do much fishing out there, so when I got here, I told my wife, I said, I know a boat is like a racehorse, race car, drug habit, whatever. You're always dumping money into them. I said, but I'm buying me a boat. So at least once a month, I try to head down to Florida. I got a good buddy of mine that he was my best man in my wedding. We've known each other since 7th grade, and
they want to know.
Take off and go to Florida.
They want to know what part of Oklahoma you lived in.
A little town called Elk City, right off I-40, almost to the Texas line.
Oh, okay. There you go. What kind of boat do you have?
I have a 20-foot Skeeter, open console. I bought that one where I could. We do a little striper fishing and stuff around here.
Like a bass boat? Is it like a bass? Is it like a bass boat?
Yeah, it's bass boats enclosed. It's what they call an open console. The steering wheel's in the middle, and it's mainly open.
Okay.
It's a bay boat, basically. So we go down now. We just came back from Apalachicola, and we picked at each other with all the water situations everybody's been seeing the whole time. My friend Marty, he's like, I'm not touching that water. I said, oh, come on, don't be a germaphobe. And I had cuts on my hands and things like that from just, before we left, I grabbed my cat a couple times to aggravate me. He scratched on me. I told him, I said, if anybody's going to get it, it's going to be me. But Apalachicola is one of your cleaner areas. But it was hot. We went down there 2 weeks ago, and it was hot. We caught a ton of sail cats, and then we started catching some redfish. It's just to get away. I mean, after being in these trucks long, once a month, or I'm probably going to go back to September until it cools off.
Listen, ain't nothing will relax you like fishing. I got a camp on the river, and it's been so high and muddy, I haven't got to fish all year.
I'd always kept a pole. I'm trying to think last time I've been to California. It's been 4 or 5 years ago, and I won't go back anymore. But coming through Utah, almost getting to California with all the rivers and stuff through there, I was always tempted to stop and fish. And I did one time, and game warden come up on me. You got a fishing license? I said, no, sir. Please don't write me a ticket. I said, I'm just up here in my truck, and I said, I just want to stop and get out and take a break, fish for a minute. He was nice enough not to write me a ticket.
Lord.
He's out there anyway. Thank you, sir.
Bubba News put up a video of some kind of boomer that the Rooskies have let off. Goodness.
Yeah, I saw that. That was. I watched the videos today. I can't remember what it was, but yeah, that was. You'd see looked like a volcano. Some of the things people have been showing the volcanoes erupting, and it'd be like 10 seconds later you'd hear the shockwave. Yeah, it was pretty nasty.
This is awful. I want y'all to go look at. Oh shoot! What happened to it? I want y'all to let me see. Hang on. Let me see if I can.
Yeah, some of the videos I saw, the people in the it was town or whatever. And I don't understand Russian, but they were all acting like they were freaked out. I don't blame them. Oh, girlfriend, let me cut your fan on. There you go. Anyway, yeah, I was gonna call in right before she did because I seen you hadn't had a caller, and I figured I would call and talk about whatever.
Y'all got to check that out there. You can see it looks almost like a atom bomb. What's a good question? I missed the question. I'm sorry.
For me?
Might have been.
Oh, I just said I seen that you had the last caller called in. I was fixing to call, but I was in kind of a bad cell area.
Oh, wow.
And then she called in. I said, well, let me call in and kind of change up the situation a little bit.
That was awesome. I appreciate it. Yeah, going back to the fishing, the only thing we really get a lot are small and largemouth bass. You have to go to certain areas to get any trout. And then
That's what I was going to ask about because, I know the area that you live in. I was wondering about the trout up there.
Yeah, they've got some good trout streams. You have to have a special license to trout fish. Oh.
Yeah, here in Georgia, you got to have a license for everything.
What was Petra's question? Petra, give me your question again, honey. It's scrolled, and where he's on the phone, I can't look at it on my phone. What was the question, Petra? I'm sorry, honey. I missed it. I was looking at that boomer. Was it a test? Oh. I don't know. I have no idea. I just saw Bubba put that up, and I saw the picture.
Are you talking about the explosions?
Yeah, was that a test or an ammo explosion?
No. They had. From what I read. I guess I could say I was on Zero Hedge, and they had the videos, and I think the videos were linked to Twitter, if I'm not mistaken. And what I read about it was an ammunition depot, and something caught on fire in one of the storage areas, and that's what caused that explosion. It was powder, gunpowder, some sort, ammo type thing that blew up.
Did you ever see gunpowder that looked like that, an explosion?
A mushroom cloud, man. Yeah, but we can't talk about that. Something that I did when I was a teenager.
Oh, okay.
You can't do nowadays. You'll get in trouble.
Oh, okay.
Yes, it will. It'll make a big smoke cloud like that, but it's got whatever that was, in my opinion, was a very large amount of powder. If what they're saying is true, but you never know. You never know what's real and what ain't.
Well, it had that big bubble thing around it before it mushroomed. That was freaky looking, and then shockwave was forever.
You see the shockwave going through the clouds? Yeah.
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 I thought that was
There's somebody. It's old. There's somebody who's on a boat next to a volcano, and I can't remember where it was, but it erupts, and the guy says, "Hold on a minute. You can see the shockwave coming. It's like 15 miles away, and that shockwave hit that boat. It on the video, it looked like it almost capsized the boat. It was
oh my
really hard
gosh!
Shot.
Oh my lord!
So yeah,
that is awful.
Yeah, I did see that today. That was
now.
The video I saw, like I said, the people were. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I just said the video I saw, the people were you could hear kids hollering, dogs barking. They were whatever they were saying in Russian. It was like they were, I don't know, like they were panicking.
Well, I can imagine if I saw something like that coming at me, because that looked like it was a little more than something powder. But, of course, what do I know? I don't know how much powder. Did they say if anybody got hurt? I hope nobody got hurt.
I can't remember. I said, I think the article, what I saw was on Zero Edge.
Oh, okay. Only thing I was going to ask you was, do you just drive everywhere? Do you have a dedicated run or?
No, ma'am. No, I will not. I will not live in a truck anymore. I'm home every day. I'm blessed with what I got. I leave. I mean, I don't care to say. I mean, I live in Athens, Georgia, and I leave Athens. And I go to LJ, which is in the middle of the state, kind of at the foothill of the mountains.
Yeah.
And come back the same way. And right now, I'm on Interstate 85, headed to Greenville, South Carolina, and then I go home.
Oh.
So yes, I'm blessed. I think it's. I'm trying to think of the guy's name. He's got his YouTube channel, Road to Prison.
Yeah.
I think he's a truck driver, and he probably travels.
Yep. Yep. Road to Prison's one of our buddies. He called in the other night.
Yeah, I see him. I said, hey, dude, anytime you want to talk, as being a truck driver, we talk truck driver.
Yeah.
Crap.
Yeah, we've got one guy. His name in chat's Trucker JP, and when he calls in, he always calls in and says breaker 19 something, and then blows his whole air horn.
19.
Yeah. Oh, breaker 19
I put
won a radio check, and then he blows his air horn.
I put a set. My air horn had messed up on this truck. The little pull thing, it had messed up, and I said, you know what? I said it's just as cheap for me instead of buying the parts, tearing this little dash apart. I said I'll just put some train horns. So I put a set of train horns just because we have to have that horn. That's a thing that when you get DOT'd out here on the road.
Yeah.
They do their inspection. You've got to have the air horn on there. So I put train horns, and I try not to blow them very much because it scares people. Like if you're on the interstate and there's a car next to me, I did it one time because they were doing dumb things. And next thing I know, they started moving and swerving. I said, ooh, we don't need to do that.
Anime, stop being the YouTube Nazi on the channels, girl. They might not appreciate that. One article, my goodness. Just one. That'll be okay. Everybody just takes what they want and dumps the rest. Listen, you're on I-85 going to Greensboro. You go right by Salisbury exit.
Greenville, South Carolina.
Oh, Greenville, South Carolina. Oh, okay. So you're not going to go into North Carolina?
No, ma'am. I don't.
I'm just
Atlanta,
trying to get you not to be so anxious, sweetheart.
I don't have to drive around Atlanta. And then years past, Charlotte used to not be that bad, but the traffic in Charlotte certain times of day is rough.
Oh, listen, when I was down there from 2009 to 2003, goodness sake, I knew when to go and when not to go. And I lived in Salisbury.
When, in Charlotte?
Yeah. I lived in Salisbury.
Oh, so yeah.
That was about 30
Atlanta's
miles.
horrible.
20 miles away.
My son just got him a job where he's working around the suburbs of Atlanta, and he called me yesterday morning. He had to go 85 to 285 to Georgia 400, and he was just fussing. He's 22.
Yeah.
And I said, yep, get you some of that traffic.
Oh, Lord. Sit there.
Dallas to me, Dallas is one of the worst because they've done so much construction. Even if you have GPS, it can't keep up with all the road changes. So Dallas is a mess.
An AI complication thought this was Fugle. It is Fugle family, darling. It is. Yes, sir. That's why we're all here.
We haven't had any more Fugle news in a day or two.
No, he's moving. And
yeah, I saw that.
Got that little baby and it's just he don't have a lot of help helping him move.
Oh Lord, I don't even want to. We moved from Oklahoma back to Georgia. I said I'll never do it again. That was I thought me and my wife was gonna get divorced over it because she's like,
oh, mercy.
I'm so thankful. I'm so thankful for the mentality of women because they know how to organize.
Yeah.
And as a man, we're not good at it. And she's real picky about put this here and pack this there. And I'm like, just get it in there and let's go. And she's half Irish and half Scottish and full blood redhead.
and she gets irritated at me sometimes.
Oh my goodness.
Say that.
Let me tell you, I'm a professional packer and mover. Let me tell you, when I move into a house from where I've left, those movers, I make them put the farthest room in the house on the back of the truck. So as they're taking stuff off of the truck, it goes from the farthest
You're very
room.
organized.
Yes, buddy. So when those trucks leave, I have got all the pieces of furniture in place. Every box that's labeled for that room is in the center of that box. I mean, in the box is in the center of the room. And I take a room at a time, unpack those boxes, and boom. Listen, I moved one time. I emptied all the boxes, had a 3-story house put together and decorated for Christmas, and had started painting the house on December the 5th, and I was done and ready for Christmas a week before Christmas. Yes, sir.
I noticed when we moved, I told my wife that we'd become packer. Well, I fussed at her and go, why do we got this stuff? Oh, we might need it one day. And I'm like, yard sale it. And so we've accumulated. I've been married for 23 years. We've accumulated a lot of stuff over the years. And I'm like, what are we doing with all this? So when we moved, our basement's got a lot of this stuff in it.
Yeah.
And I'm always going down there and saying, hey, we need to sell this stuff.
Listen, that's when I throw everything away. I pack up everything I have to have and need and that I use, and everything else, I get a dumpster and throw it away. Tell my family, come go through it if you want it, fine. If you don't, I'm trashing it.
I for a while, once when I was working the oil field and it started slowing down and my wife wanted to go back to school, I said I'd never buy another truck, and ended up buying one. And for a while, I was leased on a company during the summertime. We did the military moves for military families, like if they were in California and they were going to the East Coast. I would pull up, and they because the government pays for these people to move. My dad retired military, and he many times went through that. So they would have to move all over the country. So I really took pride in moving those folks and making sure that their stuff. Tried to drive as safe as I could without slamming on brakes and breaking their stuff or anything. Because I would, when I was there, I would talk to the family, and these people they've got to move across country, and it's stressful enough that the husband or the wife, either one's in the military, and they have to do without their other person. And then you have to move. Then you got kids involved. It's a very stressful time, I imagine, doing that stuff.
Oh yeah, a move period's stressful. Yeah. Yeah,
from California all the way to. Let's see. I moved trying to think. This guy, he was a whatever. Is it a rear? I can't remember if the rear admiral is the lowest class of admiral. Anyway, he was an admiral for the Coast Guard. And he was up there in his age, middle to late 50s, been in the military for 35 years. And his wife was like, I'm trying to get him to retire, but he won't. But he moved all the way from, I want to say they were in San Diego or San Francisco, moved all the way out to Norfolk. And they were really, really nice people.
Yeah.
Yeah, I enjoy that and try to respect all the, and help every time I go to Home Depot or something like that. We've got a World War II veteran. And he comes in there and gets in his little chair and rides around. But he's in, for his age, in real good shape, especially mentally. And he's fun to talk to. A lot of history with those folks. A lot of history. But anyway, yeah, hunting, fishing, trucking. Which, I tell anybody stay out of trucking.
Anna Mae, you're not Antifa. They're making jokes in chat. No, I told Anna Mae she had turned into the YouTube Nazi. She goes from channel to channel correcting everybody on their channel, in their chat, on their comments. And I told her she needed to chill out, man. So I told her she was the.
Well, you talk about you were targeted. You said targeted. She keeps on. They may target her. Oh Lord.
Lord have mercy. I know it. So I told her she was a YouTube Nazi, because I've heard she makes some people pretty nervous. She don't make me nervous, but I've heard she can make people pretty nervous during their lives. I get a kick out of her. So I'm trying to get her to chill out so she stops making other people nervous. And she said she wished I'd stop calling her Nazi. She was Antifa.
You labeled her.
Oh, no, see, I get a kick out of, people like anime, but
that's not a bad word to say on the
probably
on the YT channels.
Yeah, probably is. But you're just not supposed to say it like 3 times in a row or something. So I don't know.
That's crazy. That's so crazy.
Yeah, ask Anime anything. She'll tell you, and she's always right. She'll tell you that too.
Well, I've been married 23 years. I know my role. She's always right. Whoever the she is.
Yep. Well, your wife.
The caller called in the other night was talking about some other platform. I can't even remember now. I should have wrote it down.
D-Live is where most of them are.
Was it D-Live or was it the other one?
I don't like D-Live. You look them up and you can't see their shows, their replays. They're hooked to that cryptocurrency.
Yeah, but there was another one besides D-Live, wasn't there?
Is there another? What's the other platform besides D-Live? Are you talking about Discord?
He talked about. No. He talked about D-Live and talked about another one. It was a ditch or I don't know. I should have wrote it down. Yeah, if somebody, there should be some genius. Mountain Man's extremely intelligent. Maybe he can figure out a platform to create to where you can't be censored.
I know. Oh, Twitch. Are you talking about Twitch?
Twitch. Yeah, that's it.
Oh, Jason, I never think about Twitch. I don't like Twitch. So I never.
I don't know. I'm kind of new to all this.
They're supposed.
I get bored and I'll put one of y'all up on my dash and just put my headset on and listen. I try not to. If I'm out on the country roads, I might text.
I think that's awesome, and I think you need to get on that CB and next time I go live, tell those truck drivers to get on here and subscribe to my channel. I used to own a trucking company. I love truck drivers.
Nobody talks on the radio, or you get. If you've ever heard the CB and you've heard this, you'll get somebody say, "Shut up, stupid."
Yeah.
And that, and I ain't got no underwear on. I've heard all over the years on that CB radio. I don't want to hear that crap.
It's those young, stupid drivers. They don't train them like they used to.
No, they don't. I'm not that old, but I came into this. The people that I still have, I've had one or two that I've known that's died.
I don't think they should let anybody drive unless they're at least right close to 30 years old. They're putting these 21-year-olds behind the wheel, and I just messed everything up.
Well, I don't type driver for a period of time. They'll take these, and some of them even 30 years old. No disrespect to anybody. You need hand-eye coordination, and that's what makes a truck driver. Being able to maneuver your truck. Hand-eye coordination is what I've relied on. And sound.
Yeah.
For driving a truck. So you need to learn that. They don't teach that. They put somebody, one of the bigger companies, I won't name no names, but some of the bigger companies, they'll train this person for 6 weeks and say, you're good to go. Well, I've been out here 20 plus years and I still learn something.
Well, yeah.
I mean, every now and then, even now.
Listen, I learn something every day.
Yeah, if you don't, my granddad used to say this: if you don't learn anything anymore, I think they're putting dirt on top of you. You know what I mean?
Exactly. And I learn something from everybody I encounter. I mean, I love people, and I love the difference in people. We're not all going to be alike. We're not always going to get or agree with each other. You can have disagreements. I mean, that's what makes the world go round. We're supposed to be different.
Well, that's what we need. That's not what we're getting as far as our political world today. Everybody's got opinions, but can you sit down and discuss it and come to a conclusion and fix a problem? It seems like nobody can fix anything now.
Well, everybody has their opinion about everything and wants to cram it down your throat. They know cramming nothing. Make a suggestion, maybe. but not, I'm right, you're wrong, this is the way it is, and I'm going to run my mouth until you agree with me. You know, that isn't necessary, and that's what it's turned into.
One way or the other. Yeah.
Yeah. I lost a friend of 30-some years over the last election, and she didn't even ask me how I voted. She just assumed. Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Well,
it's going to get crazier, I'm afraid.
I saw on her Facebook, I used to be on Facebook back then, 3 or 4 years ago, and I saw she was coming home, you know, to visit her son, and I said, oh my God, let's meet for lunch. I'm so glad to hear you're coming, and she sent me a message immediately, said, I don't think so. She said, I know you voted for Trump, and I don't think we have anything to talk about, and if we did, we'd just argue. I said, we've always had different political views, and we've always had different religious views. I said, when have we ever argued? We've been friends for more than 30 years. Why would we argue now? And that kind of made me mad, and so I didn't meet her that time, but the next time she come in, I met her, and we had a big old time, and when we got ready to leave, I said, now, did we argue over anything? Did you forget who I am? We had a good time.
Well, my father-in-law says, you don't do business with family. You don't talk politics or religion with folks because you can get into a heated discussion. And he pretty much lives that way, you know.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I can talk politics or religion with anybody and not get mad. I used to purposely bring it up to one of my uncles. Boy, it didn't make any difference what you said, how nice you said it. He was instantly mad. And that used to just tickle me to death. So I'd bring up politics just to watch him get mad because it was so stupid.
I do that with my father-in-law because he's tamed down, but my wife, they were raised up, I will say this, and again, not to offend anybody, but hardcore Pentecostal. No. And I come from a low-key Christian where the preacher gets up, he talks calmly.
Good old Southern Baptist.
Church, it kind of, first time I went to their church, it kind of, I mean, they get in their emotions, and I'm like sitting there. My wife's like looking at me, or we weren't even married at that time. She's looking at me, and we got done. I said that kind of freaked me out. It was very loud, and I just wasn't, as far as going to church, wasn't used to that.
Yeah, first time I ever went to a Pentecostal church, it scared me to death.
I aggravate my father-in-law sometimes about when they were celebrating. It's in the Bible. There's a picture, and I kept it on my phone for a while, and I always brought the picture up of them sitting around and they were drinking wine, and he always said that's unfermented wine. There wasn't no alcohol. And I said, it was alcohol. They were getting lit up, and he'd get mad at me. But it's my way of picking at him sometimes because he picks at me.
Right.
All in fun.
Well, yeah. Well, I ended up going to non-denominational, which now in my state, non-denominational just means it's a watered-down version of Pentecostal. It's not quite, it's a little more lively than Baptist, but not quite as loud as Pentecostal. But still with Pentecostal basis, I guess. If that makes any sense.
I tell you a story. My sister lived in Cartersville, Georgia. And this is when they started publicizing the people that do the churches with the snakes. And there was one not too far from my sister's house, and this was back in the day when I was on substances. And me and my friend just got through with one of those substances, and I passed it church and turned around, and they actually had a burlap bag with the snakes in it. And I looked at him and I said, I can't resist. And I pulled up in there and I rolled my window down and said, hey, that snakes in the bag? Yep. And he starts telling me about, you have to believe and all this about snakes. And I said, man, are you messing with a rattlesnake? There's something not right. Oh yeah, they did the snake thing. And I just like, I don't mind a black snake. I've had to handle them on the farm, but when it comes to copperheads, any of those, I ain't messing with them.
Oh, they have all those rattlesnakes. Lord have mercy. Some of them's bit so many times. That I don't know what that that's more than Pentecostal. That's some kind of twist on Pentecostal. We used to have a bunch of snake handling churches way down in the counties next to Kentucky, but I don't think that's too big anymore.
They do whatever they want to with them, but I try to get along with all of Mother Nature, but me and the poisonous snakes, we have understanding. If I see you, you're not going to be around very long.
Yeah.
But we have copperhead issues. Matter of fact, my neighbor come up today as I was outside, and she come be bopping down the driveway. I got to show you this, and I'm like, okay. And hands me her phone, and she said the pest control guy was there today, and this is what he found. It was about a 3-foot copperhead, which was large for a copperhead. But my wife, when we bought this house, 2 days afterward, almost stepped on one. I've had 2 dead in the driveway on the road at the end of our driveway this year. So I wished I had some black snakes, because the black snakes will keep the poisonous snakes away. So yeah, they're nasty to get bit by those. I'm not in the part of Georgia I live in. I've yet rattlesnake. Rattlesnakes are South Georgia.
Well, we have rattlesnakes and copperheads around here, buddy. Plenty of them. But listen, I keep mothballs thrown out of the perimeter of my property, and a snake won't cross those mothballs.
It doesn't. I've read it doesn't affect the copperheads though, but it does. Like a friend of mine was having coyote issues, and he lives in Tennessee, and he read to put mothballs out. It would keep them away, and he's got the cameras at his house, and he can see everything, and he's got them up for deer too.
Yeah.
And he had a doe and a little fawn running around all the time, and the coyote was chasing them around. So when he put video, he's got music out there, and he put mothballs out. He said he has not seen the coyote. So maybe something to the mothballs. I don't know why it wouldn't affect the copperhead.
Listen, when we moved in this house, I'm surrounded by woods, and my washer and dryer's downstairs, and I was doing laundry and picked up a load of towels I'd sorted separate. When I picked up those towels, there was a snake that had her babies under my towels. And let me tell you what, I put those mothballs all over my garage, and I keep them every once in a while. I put fresh ones in there, and I have not had a snake in my garage, in this basement garage, oh my gosh, in 30 years.
Well, my wife, we hadn't been married very long, and I mean, she's a country girl. She's born and raised Northeast Georgia. She came home one day, and our son was little. He was probably 4, 5, 6 years old. As soon as she walked in the house, there was a big, and my dad had to go and get it. It was like 5, 6 foot long black snake, and curled up in the middle of the living room. And she's not one of these little screaming hollers. She don't like spiders, but the snakes didn't bother. She just immediately called me, and I said, "Well, call Dad. He'll come down and get it." He went and got his welding gloves. The black snakes, you'll know that. And I told her, I said, I knew there was probably one in the house. If they feel threatened, they have an odor. So you'll know when you got a black snake around. It's a real funky odor that they put out. That's a protection thing for them.
Well, it's like the copperheads smell like, snakes. I mean, is it the copperheads that smell like cucumbers?
No, it's black snake. No, I don't know. I don't get close enough in copperheads to smell them.
Listen, you don't have to be close to them. No, sir, you don't have to be close at all. They go in a little pack, and they smell so strong that you can smell them yards away. You go to smelling cucumbers, you better go to running. They don't need to be smelling
like cucumbers, because I like cucumbers.
They smell like cucumber. You know the cucumber plant? You know how the cucumber plant smells? That's the way copperheads smell. Yes, sir, buddy.
Oh, is there? Let's see. Is anybody on the chat that's maybe in the South that grows tomatoes? Let's see if anybody says yes. I got a question.
Is T-Rod still here? I know he's in the South. Yeah.
Well, it don't matter. They ain't got to be in the South.
T-Rod, do you grow tomatoes? He's in Alabama.
Okay.
T-Rod, he's looking for somebody in the South that grows tomatoes. Copperheads smell like cucumbers.
It ain't got to be in the South. I'm going to tell you what I've seen. what I've seen with my tomato plants, and this has changed over the years, and it may be environment, I don't know. A friend of mine told me about, he thinks Roundup will travel through the air, but like years past, because I mean, I've sold vegetables for a living. Years past, your tomatoes would put on throughout the season. Now you have indeterminate tomatoes. One's a one-shot deal for your tomatoes, and they don't produce anymore. One produces all season. Well, like I go to the local farmers market because I still try to support the people that are doing that. And I asked them, I said, "How are your tomatoes looking?" They put on tons, and then the plants start looking like they have, they've been burnt or have a mold. They're just not, this year especially, not doing very well. So I didn't know if anybody else is.
Everybody's plants are frying because the UV rays are so high now.
That may be okay. I'll go with that. Yeah, because I mean, I try to keep. I shave my head. I'm half bald, so I just shave it anyway. Since I was in my late 20s. Yeah. Just like I told my buddy, we were down there in Florida, and I put on the sunscreen.
Everybody's getting burnt up. Everybody that has never been sunburned in their life is getting fried.
I told my buddy Marty, he got sun. The last day we were there, he got cooked, and I kept the 70 sunscreen on, and I wanted to get a little sun. I don't want to be white because I work at night. I don't see sun like I used to.
Yeah.
So you need some of the vitamin D or whatever. It's good to get sunlight, but yes, I told him, I said, I don't know if it's because I'm getting older, maybe skin's thinner. I don't know, but it does feel warmer. And then I look at some of the issues that people are talking about, the subjects they're talking about, and some of that makes sense.
Yeah, listen, it's awful. Plants are getting scorched, people are getting burnt. And I'm telling you, I'm not out in the sun often. And I've got a tan this year like normally I'd get at the beach by the first or second day. And I haven't hardly been out at all. I noticed the other day, I thought, well, my flip-flops have marks on the feet. I haven't been out that much. So it's true, and people are saying
my
frying.
Sun is toxic to her because she's very fair. She's redhead. She's fair skinned.
Right.
And a bunch of us truck drivers, we didn't do it this year because there was some deaths and some people's families thing. But every year we would try to get together and go charter a boat, go deep sea fishing. Well, year before last, my wife went and I bought her an umbrella, UV, sunscreen type little umbrella for the beach. She's put sunscreen on and she still got. I mean, she did blister up, but she got poisoned pretty bad. It was miserable for her 2 or 3 days, and I was getting aloe, the pure aloe that you can get, put it on there. But she said no more. She said I don't want nothing to do with the beach.
I'm okay.
I'm looking at everybody discussing things. There's certain people discuss weather topics, things like that. So I believe there is something going on. We got to change with all the crazy weather.
Well, with those
things like that, there's some kind of change.
Those chemicals that are sprayed.
Yeah, what are we supposed to say? Cloud farts.
Yeah.
See, I thought a lot of this was. Yeah, I thought a lot of this was crazy, and I'll tell you what got me. And I didn't have to listen to anybody. I just saw it one day. I went to Northern California, and I was delivering some stuff for Walmart, new shelving and stuff they were remodeling. And I had to sit out in the parking lot all day till that evening so they could unload me. So I sat and watched the crystal clear blue sky turn into, I would call it a hazy, I don't know. But it became overcast.
It's gray.
And I noticed the back and forth. Now, my dad was in the Air Force, and I wanted to be a pilot, so I've been around planes. And I think years past, you'd always see the stuff, steam or whatever, just dissipate. Well, you don't see that anymore. And there's some reason that nobody knows. Everybody wants to know. So yeah, there's changes. Why it's happening, I don't know if it's natural. I think Mother Nature is just mad at us right now because we've abused her.
No, listen. Even President T admitted that's being sprayed, and he said he was going to put a stop to it. No, he didn't put a stop to it. He announced that he was putting vitamins in it to make us healthier.
Oh, that's great.
Listen, it's great. Aluminum and barium. They've admitted it. You can research it.
Yes.
And some places
I think one of the
have been sprayed so hard that it's testing in the ground.
one of the former presidents, I think it was Bush, he said, I don't know if it was Bush or Clinton, but he said, if you put I can't remember which one it was. One of the three-letter entities for the government. He was the head over it. I can't remember what his name was, but they showed a video of him talking about it, admitting it. I guess it was in Europe or somewhere. But they used the politically correct word, I believe, is geoengineering.
Yeah, that's it.
I guess politically correct.
That's it. And you can't tell me that they couldn't have stopped that mess in the Midwest that this food shortage didn't plant. They've already started raising prices.
Yeah, I was fixing to say, if you look at your corn futures, corn's going to be a lot higher.
Well, Aldi has already raised their prices 5 cents a can on canned food. And Aldi hasn't raised the price in years.
I've noticed. Who did, Aldi's?
Yeah, 5 cents a can in my area raised all the green beans and vegetables and stuff. 5 cents a can. That's a big jump in a week.
Well, because I think it's like it was 50 cents because going back to this, and I tell people, they make fun of people that, and I guess the word's okay, prepping.
Yeah.
And that's done for, let's just say you have a storm and your power's out. I've got 2 generators in my house. Huh?
I said exactly. We prep for everything, not the zombie apocalypse.
You have to if you don't. I hadn't seen none of those yet.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Or the aliens.
Yeah. The generators, like I took one of my older generators and I converted it over where it'll run off propane, natural gas, or gasoline. And people got it, which we have natural gas coming to my house, but if power's off, the natural gas may not flow. I'm not sure about all that.
No.
But, in case power,
if the grid's down, nothing will.
In Oklahoma, we had a couple of snowstorms out there where it was real bad. And then, quite often you get severe thunderstorms, bad stuff, you lose power. So I did it out there. Then I thought things were going to get worse as far as the craziness. So my wife gave me a hard time, which her family's always canned stuff, and I've done some canning. And that's something people need to learn about too, how to put up, if they get their food out of the garden, to can their stuff.
Yeah.
So I've done that. And I also remember as a kid being in the Boy Scouts, one of the mottos, always be prepared.
That's right.
As best you can. So I started stuffing stuff back in my basement, canned goods. But I didn't know Aldi's went up. That's where I go to get a lot of my stuff done.
Ours was 44 cents a can and jumped to 49 cents a can overnight.
I think the last time I went it was 49 cents. I can't remember.
It was 44 cents a can. Yep.
Yeah, my wife's been poking at me a little bit because she said, "You're back to storing stuff again." I said, "Yep." She's doing it not for a bad way, but she pokes at me. Because when I go grocery shopping, I buy some that we're using in the house and buy some that I can put in my basement.
Yep.
Bags of sugar and things like that. For that just in case situation.
Make sure you're rotating it. Buy stuff that you use so you can rotate it.
Yeah, I'm trying to make it. Here's where the good organization comes from inside my house. My wife's the organizer. So, like a lot of stuff I've got, AMMO, I keep that and I write down, how old. Same thing I'm doing with the canned goods. So that, you're right, to rotate it.
Yep.
Because they say the shelf life, you keep one of those cans, the shelf life's what, a year? But it actually, I've got canned goods that I've had 7-8 years.
Listen, I have eaten stuff that has been out of date for 5 or 6 years. That just got...
Yes, but the feds make them put on there a date. And if you look on that can, it'll be like a stamped date. And I think most of it's like a year. But yeah, it'll last a lot longer. I've opened some of my canned goods that we've canned at home.
Oh, yeah. So, now, stuff that
people need to know.
Stuff that you pressure can yourself, as long as you keep it cool and dry and dark.
And that lid pops down.
And the lids pop down. Let me tell you, you can have your canned. Now, not fruits and vegetables and tomatoes. Acids don't last long. 3 years max usually.
Yeah, because I do my jalapenos. when I do like jalapenos, I'll just take boiling vinegar and water, and I'll just, I'll cut the jalapenos up and get as many as I can in the jar. Clean everything real good before you do it.
Yeah.
Get as many as I can. And I just pour the boiling vinegar in there and put the lid on it, and you don't have to do the pressure cooking on the jalapenos.
No.
The lid will pop down and seal.
Right.
But them other stuff, your tomatoes, yeah, you got to do the pressure.
Well, your meat's very important, but if you keep your meat cool and in a dark place and dry place, and pressure can it right, you can keep your own pressure canned food for 20 years.
I was going to do some meat this year. Yeah, I was going to do. I just haven't had time because we still got a couple of canneries around here. They're not many, but places that you can take whatever you got, meat or vegetables, and take it in and work it up. And the people, one of them's run by the state, the other one is just run by a small company. You take your stuff in there, then you buy the cans. They used to be real cheap. They ain't anymore. Buy the cans, and they'll do the whole process for you there.
Those number 10 cans, is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, I think they were back in the day when I was doing the farming. They were like 10 cents. I think. Don't quote me on this. I think my mother-in-law said they were up to 25.
Yeah, the number 10 cans, like a coffee can. Is that what?
Yeah, they're the bigger ones.
Yeah. Okay.
They got the small ones, and they got the bigger size.
Yeah. Yeah, that's still not too bad.
Tomatoes when I went to the farmer's market, I'd can them.
Man, you're paying just under $1 for but of course it lasts forever, and you can use it over and over and over for your quart jars. But well, man, you're just full of all kinds of information. Now, what was your name again? I'm sorry.
My name's Anthony Brown.
Anthony Brown. Well, Anthony, I think you need to call in more often.
Well, when I got opportunity, when I'm going across through the woods over there, I don't have cell signal, so I'll drop the call and opportunity given. Yeah, because I've sold barbecue for a living. I did that for fun.
Yeah.
And then it turned into a business, and then it wasn't fun no more. But I enjoy my cooking and fishing. That gets me away from. That's a relaxing thing.
Yep.
But yeah. Maybe somebody else will call in, or if you're going to go to bed, y'all stay up. Y'all wear me out. Y'all stay up all hours of the night.
Listen, you're driving all night, and we wear you out.
I get up here when I back up to get unloaded. I try to take me a little nap because when I go home, because my wife works a crazy schedule, I stay up every day till about 5 o'clock. So every day is a 17, 18-hour day. Most days.
Yeah.
So that makes for a long day.
Well, everybody liked your call. You call anytime you want to. We like our truck drivers, and you never know what you might see that you can report to us. That'd be awesome.
Well, that's one thing. Hey, we'll talk about that. I haven't been seeing, which I don't get out here. I mean, I'm only on I-85 for a short period of time, about 80 miles. So I talked to a driver the other day that comes out of Florida, and he runs 95, and we were talking about some of the stuff that you can or can't talk about on this channel.
Yeah.
But this is one that's okay. I mean, the military moves. I was talking to him about it. He said he's been seeing a lot, which is odd, at nighttime.
That's when they do it.
I-95.
That's when they do it, when they don't want nobody to see it.
Well, yes, because I see them as a truck driver. Like I said, I'm not out like I used to, but you'd see them in the daytime in their convoys,
Yeah.
I always go by and wave the horn and all that kind of stuff to them.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if we have any military folks on here, thank you for your service. They wouldn't take me. I done blew my knees out.
Oh.
My dad said he had a place to straighten me out.
Bless
and we went, and I said, Dad, they won't take me. I got metal in my knees. He said, the Marine Corps will take anybody, which he went in the military in the late 50s.
Oh.
When they would take anybody, but they won't anymore. So they wouldn't let me in.
Oh. Well, I hate that.
Well, my dad's retired. He's 82 years old. He had a stroke. We have 40 acres, and I don't have the time. I'm watching it. It's somewhat heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Fencing, barns, everything I put my hands on that farm, it's deteriorating. I just don't. It's a lot of time, a lot of work to take care of property. And nowadays, in my opinion, a small farm it's hard to make any money with it, and it's basically a tax write-off.
Yeah.
It's a lot of hard work, and it costs money to do all that stuff. A lot of money.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. Listen, you can go to the farmer's market and buy your stuff cheaper and you can plant a garden.
I do. Well, like the one in Athens, Georgia, there's a lot of them, and this is what our farm was. We were certified naturally grown. If anybody doesn't, just people understand organics. And I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings, but I personally don't believe in true organics, because of the environment that we live in now with all the pollution and everything.
You're right.
But I do believe in no chemical pesticides and no chemical fertilizers. But with that taken into consideration, there's a lot of your natural insecticides that you can. I got to get my book. I can't even remember now. Pyrethrin. There's other stuff that you can pour in water and it'll kill fish. It's as bad as some of the bad stuff.
Yep, you're right.
So a lot of farmers market, a lot of them are certified naturally grown. And what certified naturally grown, they're testing. The farmers go check on each other. You got a little thing, and we would take in our area. We've got a lot of chicken manure, so I'd take the chicken manure and compost it to make my fertilizers. And I had people that had horse farms, and we'd go over. Me and my son would go they'd clean their barns out. We'd load up the manure on one of our farm trucks and bring it back. And I did a lot of composting and stuff like that to make our own fertilizers. And if you have a strong, healthy soil, you got a strong, healthy plant.
That's
most
right.
times, unless it's getting bombarded by heat.
My soil is so rich, it's black. At my one house.
Well, that area,
yep.
That's like California, but they about used it up. Good rich soil. Well, I'm trying to think. Well, Idaho, good rich soil. There's plenty of nutrients in the ground, the micronutrients and things the soil needs. Worms. Wherever you see a place that's got a lot of earthworms, it should be a good rich area.
Yeah. Yep. You can buy them from Green Greg on his channel. He sells them for a little bit of nothing. And man, his dirt's black. Yeah, he sells them by the dozen in a plastic bag, ships them to you overnight, guarantees that they'll be alive and stay alive. If not, he'll send you new worms. Are you not subscribed to him?
You can do,
he's a real interesting fella.
I don't. You can buy praying mantises, because praying mantises, they eat a lot of your little bad insects. They're good to have around in the garden.
Huh? I've never heard that.
They're supposed to be good luck, praying mantises, well, they're a predator. They'll eat the bad bugs.
Huh?
I'm trying to think of the little white things that get on tomato plants. They'll eat them up pretty good. You can buy praying mantises. There's some other bugs that. I can't. If it wasn't Johnny's, it was somebody else that sold natural stuff. You could buy those.
I've never heard you could buy praying mantises.
Yeah, you buy praying mantises, and there's one other critter. I can't remember. Like I said, it's been 15, maybe not 15 years since I was doing the farming thing.
Yep.
And that comes from my mama. She always grew stuff.
I've always had a garden. This year ours was mud.
The tomatoes is what I've seen. Typically with your squash plants, you always got to deal with the vine borers. So you plant your squash early, and you'll get several pickings, and then the vine borers get in there. Then you got to plant another one, and they don't make it as long. Squash has done good this year in my area. Green beans, they did very well. I've seen eggplant show up real early this year, and I like eggplant.
Huh.
But the tomatoes, I've talked to a lot of people. The tomatoes really struggle, which we've had a lot of water here in Georgia.
Yeah. They can't have too much water. Hey, they want to know where do you buy praying mantises? Do you order them offline, or do you have someplace local? Or?
Yeah, it was someplace. I'll have to look. They were shipped to us, and they made it's been 10 or so years. I mean, I'm assuming they still do it. I'll have to ask my wife. It was. Oh, Lord. Some of the magazines I got that sold those, and I would take them and release them.
Huh.
Somebody can Google it. I can't, much as I hate to say Google it.
Well, Anime said she gets them from some nursery. Maybe she can tell people if you can order them from there. Well, listen, buddy, I am going to shut this show down. My eyes are crossing on me. I appreciate so much you calling in. And listen, we'll help you stay awake any night you need to. You're full of all kinds of information. Fun information, and that's what we like.
Tonight. I got some good rest. Yeah, I'll call in. I don't have to. I'm off tomorrow night, and I got to work Wednesday night, Thursday night, so I'll be floating around listening to somebody or something.
Well,
Anyway, everybody have a great night. Stay positive, whatever you do.
listen, you be careful. You watch out for the idiots on the road.
Yeah, that's a given every day out here. Today's a pretty good day. I haven't seen none so far.
Good. That's awesome.
Well, y'all have a great morning. I guess it's morning, it's afternoon for me. This is my afternoon time.
Yeah.
Everybody have a great evening and morning, and stay positive and get something done. Do something every day. That's what I tell people. Do something every day. Make sure it's positive.
Exactly. Listen, hey, we are thrilled to death to have you as part of our family. Here and Marfugal. None of us would be here if it wasn't for Marfugal.
You're right. Anyway, y'all have a great day. Ta-ta, and talk to you later.
You too. Bye-bye. Now, wasn't that a treat? He was a pleasant little fella. I like pleasant phone calls. That's awesome. Well, listen, guys. My eyes are about to burn off. I'm a-telling you. They were bothering me earlier. I sat out on the porch with my grandbaby. I couldn't even put any eye makeup on. I kept rubbing my eyes. Listen, my eyes are a mess. I can't even read chat anymore with my glasses. Now, what my problem is. I'm getting old. I can't stay up till 6 o'clock in the morning no more. Baby ran me ragged. But anyway, I love you all. You know I do. Appreciate you being here hanging out. And I don't know. I guess when Adam gives us a schedule, we'll know what we're going to do with our schedule. But I want everybody to go to bed and have a wonderful day tomorrow. And I will see you all tomorrow night. I love you much. Bye-bye.